So it's February, and that means I've got a brand new roommate. Everybody, meet Amy.
And whenever you do, don't mention her bra problem. I won't appreciate it. I like it just the way it is.
So, 2011 is upon us, and that means we got a bunch of great new movies coming out this year, and I've got my list of the best movies you need to see in 2011. Number 1 on the list, take a drink if you didn't see this coming, Transformers Dark of the Moon. This movie is going to kick so much ass. I mean, it's the last Transformers movie. They have to knock it out of the park, man. I mean, considering all the amazing things we've seen in T1 and T2, then I have no idea how they're going to blow us away in the third round, but I'm sure they'll find a way. And to watch the Super Bowl on this Sunday to look for an exclusive trailer for this and a couple other movies on this list. I'll point them out when we get there. Like the next one, we're going to have a Super Bowl, we'll show a trailer for this next movie, Super 8. After my incredibly unpopular opinion on this movie trailer, I'm anxious to see if J.J. Abrams will repeat the success of Cloverfield. Why am I turning my head in different directions? Or whether this will be just another flop like MI3. Well, MI3 probably made a lot of money, but I didn't like it. But I'm anxious to see what Super 8 is going to be. It's got a great cast. It's got Kyle Chandler, Elle Fanning, Amanda Mashaka, and a couple other people I haven't heard of. But anyway, Battle LA. This is obviously on everyone's must-see list. And with all the different alien invasion movies we've seen over the past few years, this one's taking a more gritty, realistic approach. It's kind of like District 9 in that sense, but at the same time it has all the spectacle of Independence Day. And please, dear God, don't make another Independence Day. Take Me Home Tonight, the new comedy that's a brainchild from Topher Grace. This also stars Anna Faris as his sister in that movie, and Dan Fogler, and I can't remember her name, the girl from The Sorcerer's Apprentice, Teresa something. I can't remember her last name. Someone tell me in the comments what her last name is. It's about Topher Grace trying to get his dream girl back in the 80s. And obviously, that song is coming to everyone's mind. I prefer the Every Avenue version. Check out the Every Avenue version on Punko's Classic Rock. Unknown, starring Liam Neeson. This movie looks like it's going to be really cool. And it looks like a kind of psychological thriller. And I'm normally not much for psychological thrillers, but this one has a really cool spin to it that I'm anxious to check out. 30 Minutes or Less, starring Academy Award nominee Jesse Eisenberg and Aziz Ansari as two friends who are part of a group of bumbling crooks planning to rob a couple banks in 30 minutes or less. So check that out. Kung Fu Panda 2, The Kaboom of Doom. Now, I found the first Kung Fu Panda to be slightly underwhelming, mainly due to its lack of character development for its secondary characters. So I felt like the movie was all about Jack Black. So I'm anxious to see this movie more of the Furious Five, so they can put their great cast to use. It looks like there's going to be a ton of really cool animated animal action. AAA, as I like to call it. Cars 2. This is just because it's Pixar. I'm not behind the idea of a Cars 2. There are a lot of other Pixar movies I'd very much like to see sequels to, like The Incredibles. Please tell me they're making an Incredibles 2. Cars 2, not the... I thought Cars was not one of my favorite Pixar movies. But, you never know. It could impress me. The brand new Muppet movie starring Jason Segel and I believe Katy Perry. I think Katy Perry... Katy Perry's either in this or the Smurfs. But I'm fairly certain she's in the Muppets, but it would be great to see the Muppets back, especially Statler and Waldorf, as I was a big fan of their show on Movies.com from the balcony. And someone please release that on DVD. I love that show. It was so hilarious. The Adjustment Bureau. Everyone's been talking about this movie, and this movie looks really cool. Matt Damon and Emily Blunt would make a really cool, sexy duo. It has a very interesting concept. That, being the sci-fi freak that I am, it'll be interesting to see that. Source Code, of course. Excuse me. Source Code is going to be awesome. And as I said in my movie Spotlight on Source Code, you know there's going to be some huge twist ending to this thing. The Girl with the Dragon Tattoo. I just started reading this book today, and I'm very anxious to see the movie. Even though I haven't even finished the book yet, I'm excited to see how it'll look in America's hands. with Daniel Craig and Rooney Mara under the direction of David Fincher. It'll look really cool. The Green Lantern. It's actually just Green Lantern, but I suppose you can call it the Green Lantern. Starring recently single Ryan Reynolds. That movie looks really cool, and it's interesting to see one of the lesser-known superheroes get in the spotlight. Harry Potter and Deathly Hallows Part 2. That's obviously a big one. I mean, it's the end of Harry Potter. I mean, come on. And Part 1 was just the best of the Harry Potter movie yet, so they better knock it out of the park here. And I'm fairly certain this one's going to get a Best Picture nomination. It better. X-Men First Class. I loved the X-Men movies. I'm a big fan of the X-Men period, and seeing the origins of the X-Men, probably some origins of some new X-Men joining the fray that we haven't seen on screen yet. That'll be really cool. Limitless. Look for this, a trailer for this during the Super Bowl. It's about Bradley Cooper taking an experimental drug that makes him super smart and super adaptive, and apparently that doesn't sit well with some other government people. Kind of like playing with fire in that respect. Real Steel from the director of Date Night and Night at the Museum and the god-awful Night at the Museum 2. An action movie in the future about boxing robots. That doesn't sound right. Anyway, Paul, with new alien comedy with Simon Pegg and Seth Rogen. That looks pretty cool, although I thought the trailer for that movie was way too raunchy for cinemas. When I saw that trailer before The Green Hornet, I was sitting next to like a 10-year-old kid, and I was like, this is way too dirty to be shown with a 10-year-old kid sitting next to me. And yeah, this has to be on the list. It's just default. The first part of the Twilight Saga Breaking Dawn. And I still think they're just, the only reason Breaking Dawn is in 2 parts is to rip off Harry Potter. But you never know. And as I said, I think Breaking Dawn, even if you're not a Twilight fan, Breaking Dawn's worth checking out because of Book 2. And Book 2 kept me on the edge of my seat. It was very intense. It had some really cool stuff in it. So I'll be anxious to see how they translate that to film. Especially given that our heroes are, for most of Book 2, are just giant wolves. Bridesmaids, from the producer of Knocked Up and The 40-Year-Old Virgin, comes a raunchy, female-aimed comedy with Kristen Wiig, Maya Rudolph, and Ellie Damashie-Cute-Kemper. Got a group of bridesmaids who are preparing for Maya Rudolph's wedding, and let's just say, hilarity ensues. A couple of these movies I might do movie spotlights on. The Bridesmaids trailer was just released today, so I might do a movie spotlight on that. And a couple other movies on this list. Abduction, starring Jacob from Twilight and Collins from The Blind Side. And Ripley. You know which Ripley I'm talking about. It's about, well, details on the plot are very sketchy, but it looks like it is cool to see Taylor Lautner doing something not Twilight. I mean, I haven't seen Valentine's Day, so I can't comment on that. MI Ghost Protocol, obviously, since I'm anxious to see if the series will redeem itself. With Jeremy Renner on board, it's going to be really cool, and I hope Tom Cruise is in it. Jeremy Renner and Tom Cruise would make a great, awesome duo. And I think I heard rumors that Frida Pinto is going to be in this. I hope those are true, because I like Frida Pinto in the one movie I saw her in. Hall Pass, starring Jason Sudeikis and Owen Wilson, where their hot wives give them a 1 week off marriage so they can do whatever they want. But if you're married to Christina Applegate and Jenna Fisher, you probably wouldn't need one of those. If I were married to either one of those days, I'd just tear it up right then and there. Cowboys and Aliens, from the director of Iron Man, the writers of Transformers. This movie's going to be really cool. It's an interesting concept. 2 things that have nothing to do with each other being combined. And the trailer looks insanely awesome. And come on, it's from the writers of Transformers. You gotta see everything they put out, even if The Island flopped, but we're not here to talk about that. The Change Up, starring Ryan Reynolds and some other guy, I can't remember the other guy's name, but does 2 best friends who literally take a step in each other's shoes, kind of like a raunchy Freaky Friday. So it could be cool. Horrible Bosses, we had a group of people who decide to off their bosses because they're, well, horrible. Speaking of offing your enemies, insert parting shots joke here. I'm having a difficult time killing my parents. Quite possibly the coolest movie title of 2011. It's written by and stars T.J. Miller, so that instantly makes it awesome. About T.J. Miller who's trying to kill his parents. It's a pretty self-explanatory title. And that's to say he has difficulties. It's so far it's premiered only at Sundance, but I'm hoping this comes to DVD or comes to theaters and in some way or another. TJ, if you're watching this, let me know if it's ever gonna come to theaters or if there's some way I can see this. I sent some guy an email about it, asking about that, but I think I might have to take a road trip if I'm gonna see this movie. And last one on the list, I know this is probably going to be a controversial opinion, Zookeeper, starring Kevin James and Rosario Dawson. It's about Kevin James, a bunch of taking care of his animals in the zoo, but all of these animals talk, and they're trying to give him advice how to get Rosario Dawson. The only reason this movie's on my list is because it stole my idea. I had an idea very incredibly similar to this about a zookeeper who can talk to animals. So that's one of the reasons this is on my list. So if you guys want to see my version of that, you can't, because now they stripped me off. So let me know in the comments what your must-see movies of 2011 are. Tell me if you agree with any of these or not. Let me know any movies I may have missed. And stay tuned for the Super Bowl to see trailers for these and many other really cool movies. I think there's a Battle LA trailer during the Super Bowl, and I'll do movie spotlights on a couple of these movies. Like I'll do I'm having a difficult time killing my parents and Bridesmaids. Probably film those today. And that's it. Friends 227 out.